From Royal Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, WGN is proud to present Chicago White Sox baseball. Tonight it's the White Sox versus the Kansas City Royals. And hi, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Royal Stadium. I'm Ken Harrelson along with Tom Paciorek as the Sox get ready to take on Kansas City in the second of this three-game set after taking the opener last night behind the strong pitching of Charlie Huff 2-0. And Wimpy, now I want you to speak up. Wimpy's got a little throat problem. But Sox now 4 games into this 10-game road trip. They have scored 9 runs and they're 3-1.
It's unbelievable. And they should have won the other game too if the wasn't the balk call and the double play that wasn't turned. So the Sox have been making the most out of pitching and very good defense. So hopefully tonight they'll have to do the same thing because Tom Gordon can be very, very tough. He's got one of the best curveballs in baseball.
Well, Tom Gordon is 2-0 lifetime against the Sox, but he's got a very fine ERA. And on the other hand, Greg Hibbert, he's been struggling a little bit.
Yes, he has. His last 2 outings were losses to California and Oakland, and he's really got to take a little bit more off that changeup, throw a little bit more off speed than his fastball.
All right, tonight it will be the little bulldog Greg Hibbert against the curveballing Tom Gordon. And Wimpy will be back, throw permitting, with the rest of the starting lineups right after this.
White Sox baseball on Channel 9. The White Sox are brought to you by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered for real draft taste. So get out of the old, get into the cold. The good guys at Dodge, where it's advantage Dodge. True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores. Southwest Airlines, offering everyday low fares and convenient flights to both Detroit Metro and Detroit City airports. Phillips 66 high-quality super clean gasolines, keeping your car's fuel injectors and intake valves clean for smooth driving performance. Coca-Cola Classic, you can't beat the real thing. The Chicago Tribune, get in the game, pick up a trib. And your local Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Royal Stadium in Kansas City, game 2 of the 3-game series between the Sox and the Royals. Here are the Sox lineup. The top third will be Raines in left field, Ventura at third, Frank Thomas DHs. The middle third of Danny Pasqua at first base, Carlton Fisk catching, and Sammy Sosa in right field. The bottom third of Lance Johnson in center, second baseman Joey Cora, and Ozzie Guillen at shortstop. Defensively, Gibson, McRae, and Eisenreich in the outfield. Seitzer, Stillwell, Shumpert, and Martinez around the horn for Kansas City. And their battery tonight of Tom Flash Gordon and Mike McFarland. And with that, this is not Mr. Haney from Green Acres. I'll give you the Hawkaroo.
All right, Wimpy. Tim Raines will lead it off. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chicago White Sox baseball as Tom Gordon pours a fastball over the outside corner. Tim stepping in, hitting at .293, a couple of homers, 14 RBIs. He was 1 for 3 last evening, and indeed he scored both Sox runs. Charlie Huff outstanding last night as that ball is hit into left field. Kirk Gibson is there, makes a catch, and there's one gone. Gordon out of Avon Park, Florida, just 23 years old. You see the numbers on him, that ERA second in the American League. Gordon 5'9", 180 pounds. One of the best curveballs in all of baseball. And being just 23 years old, he's got a lifetime record of 33 victories and 25 defeats. Last year he led the staff in innings. He was a workhorse as Robin steps in. Robin takes a strike, says home plate umpire Larry McCoy. Men in blue tonight, McCoy behind the plate, Durwood Merrill at first, Big Tim McClellan at second, and crew chief Don Dinkinger over at third. Royal outfield swung around to the left as that pitch popped up into short left field. Here comes Gibson. So the Michigander takes it in, and there's 2 gone.
Well, there you see the 2 pitches that the Sox have to be aware of tonight, Hawk. It's that high fastball. Tim Raines went after it and hit a weak fly to left field. Robin Ventura got that good hook. So he's basically a 2-pitch pitcher, but the fastball upstairs is something you really have to take because it is about 90 miles an hour.
Here's Thomas. Big Frank hitting at .313, 8 homers, 39 RBIs. Was 0 for 3 last evening, but he did draw a walk. He has reached base in 50 of the 51 games the Sox have played this year. Takes that fastball strike, and the count 1-1. Gordon making his 8th start in his 11th appearance. As you saw earlier, he lost his last start to Minnesota by a score of 4-1. There, the strike on the outside corner, and quickly it's 1-2. That little guy right there, as I mentioned, 5'9", has 435 major league innings under his belt, and he has 403 strikeouts.
Well, he's definitely a strikeout pitcher.
Big time. And that's outside, gets away from McFarland, so the count 2-2. It has been raining for the most part all day long here in mid-America, and there are forecasts of scattered showers throughout the evening. Here's what Big Frank's going to be looking at. There's the hook. Hit to the second baseman. Terry Shumpert over to first base. Carmelo Martinez, and a 1-2-3 inning for Gordon. After a half inning of play, it's the Sox nothing, and Kansas City coming up. That's the story. No score, bottom of the first inning right now. Let's look at the lineup that southpaw Greg Hibbert will be working against. Brian McRae will lead it off and be in center field. Kurt Gibson hitting second. He's in left. The DH tonight, 38-year-old veteran George Brett. Batting clean up the catcher, Mike McFarland. Jim Eisenreich will hit fifth. He'll be in right field. At third base, batting sixth, it'll be Kevin Seitzer. Carmelo Martinez will bat seventh. He'll be at first. The shortstop, Kurt Stillwell, will hit eighth. And batting ninth, the second baseman, Terry Shumpert. There you see the Sox defense in the outfield from left to right. Range, Johnson, and Sosa. Around the horn, Pasqua, Cora, Ozzie, Ventura, and the battery of Carlton Fisk. And the 26-year-old southpaw, Greg Hibbert. Hibbert making his 12th start of the season. 1-1 last year against Kansas City. He is 2-1 lifetime with a very fine 3.21 ERA. So here's the switch hitting Brian McRae, hitting a .218, 4 homers and 26 RBIs. Those 26 RBIs leading the club. Brian last night 0 for 4. That's a chopper up the middle. Ozzie, can he do it? No. That'll be a base hit.
Yeah, that's a real tough play for Ozzie right there. Boy, on that AstroTurf, the ball just scoots right through there. Ozzie on a natural surface would have probably made this play a lot easier. But you see McRae hitting just .218, but he's a .308 hitter right-handed. And he finds the hole, and he's got that great speed, so he'd have beat it anyway. Leadoff man on. Here's Gibson.
Kurt Gibson, 1 for 4 last evening. There you see the numbers on the former Tiger, Dodger, 237 homers, 20 ribbies. Hibbert, 23 victories, 20 defeats in his major league career. As the outfield spread out, they're straight up for Kurt. Takes a fastball strike and the count 0-1. Here at Royal Stadium, 330 down each line, 385 in the power alleys and 410 straightaway center field. One of the most beautiful ballparks in the world. They have added the waterfalls out in left center field, also a beautiful new scoreboard, a diamond vision. There's a breaking pitch low and away. McRae jockeyed, then decided against it. So the count 1-1.
You know, these next two hitters, Hawk, are the two guys that I fear most against Greg Hibbert tonight. Kurt Gibson and George Brett. Even though they are left-handed, what they do is they take away of Hibbert's most effective pitch, and that's that changeup. He's a little less likely to throw that pitch to the lefty as he is right-handers.
Well, George Brett's always the guy I fear most in that lineup.
Yeah,
I don't care who's out there.
Well, Gibson's a much better low ball hitter, and of course Greg is a low ball pitcher. Yeah, you're right. Anytime George Brett shows up, he's dangerous.
McRae, 6 stolen bases in 10 attempts. The Royals have 36 stolen bases as a club. Terry Shumpert leading that with 9. Royals hitting .245 as a team. Very fine 3.58 team ERA. As that's fouled away, and the count 1-2. So Kansas City coming in with a mark of 24-28, and the Sox, they're 1 game under it. 25-26. There's the new skipper, Hal McRae. Pat Dobson, who will be handling all the pitching for a while until Hal learns these individuals. And that's exactly the way to do it. Now, for the most part, is as intense a competitor as he was when he was playing. Still very calm, cool, and collected. Kirk Gibson awaits, and the curveball high. 2-2. And our congratulations to the Bulls on a very dramatic victory last night at Los Angeles. At 104-96, Michael. All the guys. Boy, I'll tell you what a beautiful job it was to come back from that big, they had a 13-point deficit at one time.
At least, yeah.
Checks it up. He did not go, says third base umpire Don Dinkinger. So the count goes full to Gibson.
Now McRae should be off with this pitch. He's got good speed, 6 out of 10 in stolen bases.
Royals have had trouble scoring runs, just like the Sox have. Kansas City, as everyone knows, with all the injuries they have had now, just starting to get healthy again. Of course, Danny Tartabull out with that hand. They still have Brett, who's going to be DHing probably for the remainder of the season. There goes McRae. Ball chopped foul.
And what that's going to do is limit Kirk Gibson's effectiveness too, because he still got those bad legs, and you don't want to run him out on AstroTurf every day when he has to play the field like he has the last 2 days here. So McRae will have problems with that.
Also, Kevin Seitzer playing. He's going to play. He might have to play the rest of the season with a broken bone in his right hand. So the injuries for the Royals have been, for the most part, especially with the loss of Bo Jackson early on, they have been very harmful. This rip foul, that one. Mercy. So Hibbert with the 3-2 count. Got to throw the strike. But as Wimpy mentioned earlier, his best pitch is the change. And when you're talking about the left-handed hitters, he has a problem with that. You know, Hibby said in spring training he wanted to throw that change to the left-handed hitters and started off the season doing it, and all of a sudden the last 4 or 5 times out has not done it. As Gibson's gone, a double clutch by Pitt Fisk, and McRae steals second base.
Well, let's take a look at this pitch right here to Gibson. Looks like the changeup. He took something way off the fastball, as you can see.
Change.
Yeah, that's a change. Yeah. Bounces up there. Gibson completely fooled by the pitch. First one he has thrown Gibson. So there's one out.
Well, we talked about it. I think he's got to throw it to everybody. Right-handed, left-handed, doesn't make any difference, because indeed it is his best pitch by far. And he has got to use that to set the fastball up. So here's Brett, 38-year-old veteran. George, 1 for 4 last evening, hitting at 250. But in his last 14 at-bats, has 7 hits. Takes it off the plate, and the count 1-0. Dennis the Menace. That comes in with so many appearances on the all-time leaders list. There's the change. Yes, he did.
All right. Good changeup. Great arm action right there by Hibbert.
You know, as I mentioned just before he struck out Gibson on the change, the last 4 or 5 times out there, he has just stayed completely away from that change to the left-handed hitter, especially the strong left-handed hitter.
And has been hurt as a result.
Deadgum right he had. Outfield playing George to hit to left. Cora way back. There's that fastball. Hibby wanted it, didn't get it.
And as you mentioned, Hawk, when he does throw that changeup to the left-handers, it's going to quicken up the left-handed hitter's perception of his fastball. It's going to appear much quicker than it really is.
Oh, it'll add another 6 inches on it to the eye of the hitter. McRae a short lead at second as a 2-1 pitch. That's hit into left. Tim Raines gives a little ground back near the track. Out number 2. Royals used to be the most dominant home team in baseball for many years. Boy, the last 4 or 5 years, that has gone by the boards. Royals this season 13-17 here at Royal Stadium. Boy, back in the 70s and early 80s, you couldn't hardly beat these guys here.
You hated to come in here as a visitor because you know that if you had a 3-game series, chances are you're going to get swept. They just first and third you to death, really take advantage of the big ballpark. They had a lineup full of line-drive hitters.
Here's a catcher, the cleanup hitter, Mike McFarland. Michael hitting at .245, 5 homers, 17 RBIs. He drew the collar last evening. He was 0 for 3. A little bit of an unusual batting style. He'll get that bat way back. A pretty good pitch to hit right there. Fouls it, and the count 1-1. Just 27 years old. Out of Stockton, California. That's inside. 2 balls and a strike. 2 balls, a strike, 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Gets out in front, beats it over into the Sox dugout. So the count evens at 2. Another nice crowd on hand. Royals averaging over 25,500 per home date. Two delivery. Another foul. Down by Adrian Garrett. Lynn Jones, of course, at first. So McFarland with the 2-2 count. Sox last year in 13 meetings against Kansas City won 9 of them. They swept the Royals back at Old Comiskey Park 6-0, and they were only 3-4 here. That's another foul. So McFarland hanging tough.
And that's exactly what Hibbert wants him to do, though. Those right-handed hitters, he wants them to pull the ball, pull it on the ground, get those easy outs to the third baseman and the shortstop. When you see that, Hibbert usually has a good ball game.
Well, so far I just like him throwing the change-ups to Gibson and Brett. With Hibby, that change is almost like a lot of guys with a fastball. You see them go out there, they don't want to throw it. You know they're in for a short night.
Yeah.
Left side, Ventura, look at the play. Can he throw him out? Nice effort, but the ball gets away from Danny Pasqua. McRae will score, and it's 1-0 Kansas City. That'll be a base hit and an RBI.
Yeah, McRae scored easily from third base. Boy, Robin really made a great effort right here to try and get Hibbert out of a potential jam, but a lot of topspin on this ball as it tries to get through the hole. Ventura, the ball was already by him. Can't get up, really didn't get himself in good throwing position, as you can see. Pasqua can't come up with the play, and McRae scores all the way from second base. So 1-0 KC.
Now the throw over. You know, I was just getting ready to say earlier about the first base play. The Sox only scoring 9 runs in the first 4 games of this 10-game road trip, winning 3 out of 4. They've only given up 4, but one of the reasons being is a very fine defensive play that they've had at first base between Pasqua and then Robin Ventura the other night in Cleveland, as Eisenreich takes it up high. They did not give Robin an error, allowing McRae to score as he was rounding the bag hard. One-0 pitch over, and the count, a ball and a strike. So Eisenreich, who has been swinging the bat better, 13 for his last 35. He penciled out at 371. Jim had a hit last night. He was 1 for 4. There's a fastball strike, and it's 1-2. Curveball just off the corner, says McCoy. Sox will conclude this series tomorrow afternoon. It'll be Jack McDowell against Mike Boddicker before going on down to Arlington. Take on the Rangers in a 4-game set. Throws the change, it misses, and the count goes full. So Pasqua playing behind McFarland. Payoff pitch. Here you see his first 6 starts, 2-0, 2.47 ERA. And the last 5, because of the change, it has not been effective for him. 1-4. Little check swing, Robin. Over to Pasqua. And that'll retire the side. But the Royals come up with a run on 2 hits. No errors, 1 man left. And after 1, Kansas City leads it 1-0. Here in the top of the 2nd inning. For the Sox, it'll be Pasqua, Fisk, and Sammy Sosa to face the little right-hander Tom Gordon. A little right-hander with a big curveball. Danny steps in, hitting at .248, 3 homers, 12 RBIs. Hitting 10 of his last 12 ball games at a .342 clip. So Pasqua's starting to get it heated up as he takes the strike. And he drove in the first run of the ball game last night. A 2-out double in the left center field, knocking in Tim Raines from first base. Outfield shaded just a bit to the left. Pitch high, and the count evens at 1. And a reminder that Friday, June 14th at 7:05. The Sox begin their series against these same Kansas City Royals. And don't miss that game where the first 20,000 adults will receive a can wrap courtesy of Miller Lite. Going inside. 2 balls and a strike. So just call or visit your nearest Ticketmaster outlet. 312-831-1SOX. There's the hook. He's got one. He's got a Jim Dandy.
Oh. When he's changing speeds on it like he does, he's just awesome. He's wearing number 16 now, by the way, in tribute to his ex-teammate Bo Jackson. He was 36 last year.
Full count to Pasqua. Pretty good hack on a heater. You can see the physique on Gordon, even though he's just 5'9". He's put together. Tremendous definition. Lettered in football, baseball, and basketball. Avon Park. We mentioned it, very fine. 2.19 ERA, second behind Scott Erickson. There you can see Saberhagen. He's getting all his stuff together. Boddicker. So we mentioned Kansas City, even though they're 4 games under, have that 3.58 team ERA. That is 3rd in the American League. So here's a payoff pitch to Danny. California leading the league in team ERA with 3.43, followed by Cleveland, Kansas City, Toronto, Minnesota, Seattle, and the Sox have their team ERA now at 3.95. Checks it up and just gets a piece of it. Kansas City 13th in the league in hitting at .245. The Tigers are last with all that power. They have a .240 team average. There's a shot base hit. Danny. So Pasqua opens up.
Boy, he got a curveball upstairs right there, and Danny just jumped all over it. Hanger, and he hammered it.
Well, you know, last night we were talking with Kevin Apier, who pitched such a good game for Kansas City. Yeah, the right-handers are really pulling hard for the left-handed hitters.
Boy,
Not a right-handed hitter in the Sox lineup last night got a base hit, and it's the same thing tonight.
Oh yeah.
Right-handers, this little guy just gives them fits. So here's Pudge. Pudge did not play last evening with Charlie Huff. Wakamatsu caught, did a fine job. So Pudge steps in hitting at 286, couple of homers. He's knocked in 18. Carlton, as you would surmise, very fine career numbers against Kansas City pitching at 277, 24 homers and 92 ribbies. Takes a fastball right there. Outfield straight away. Sights are just a few steps off the line at third. Curveball fouled off and the count 0-2. Gordon last year 12 and 11 with Kansas City, as we mentioned, led the staff in innings. Had his best year in '89 when he was 17 and 9. He's just 21 years of age. Upstairs, couldn't get on top. First strikeout for Gordon.
We mentioned at the beginning when he throws that high fastball, you really have to lay off it because he's got good gas upstairs. But the plane of that curveball starts off pretty much at that same spot, so you really can't go up there looking for his curveball.
10th highest in Major League history. Well, that's the thing when you get a guy out there with a good hard curveball, who can start it off, who starts it up high, then all of a sudden he starts his fastball at the same plane. Those guys are just double tough. As Sammy check swing, pops it up. There's Shumpert, makes the catch. Very easy, nonchalant. Nice play for Shumpert. And there's two gone.
Well, Sammy was just paralyzed by this curveball. It's just tough. He started out at Sammy Sosa, bailed, stuck his bat out, and hits the weak pop-up. And Shumpert really has good speed over there at second base. He can cover a lot of ground on this AstroTurf.
So 2 out, and here's Lance. Lance 0 for 4 last evening. Lance been scuffling lately. Takes the ball. You see Johnson's average down to 234. Sights are in close at third. Outfield short, swung around to the left. That's popped up left side. Gibson giving chase in foul territory. Gets there, makes the catch. A nice running play for the 34-year-old veteran, and that'll retire the side. So the leadoff single by Pasqua goes for naught. One man left after an inning and a half. There it is. Kansas City, bottom of the second inning. And while we have a moment here, as Hibbert takes his warm-up tosses, we'll check the minor league report for you. Good day for the Sox farm teams yesterday. Vancouver beat Tacoma 2-1. Greg Pershke had his best outing of the year, allowing 1 run on 3 hits in 7 2/3 innings. Brian Draymond pitched the final 2 frames, and he got the victory. As Kevin Seitzer steps in, it'll be Seitzer, Martinez, and Stillwell. Also, Birmingham continues to roll. They defeated Chattanooga 8-1. Bob Wickman went the distance, allowing just 1 run on 7 hits. So Birmingham with a record of 37 and 18. They're in first place in the Southern League, and Wickman has been, of course, Bob, you know, pitched against the Cubs in the Windy City Classic. Wickman started off the year at Sarasota, where he was 5-1 with a 2.05 ERA. At Birmingham, since they promoted to the Barons, he is 3-0 with a 1.76 ERA. That pitch popped up into short center field. Joey Corey going back. Now Lance will call him off. And there's one gone.
Yeah, Wickman's one of those guys that looks like he's going to get better the higher the competition. It seems like he pitches better. He pitched great against the Cubs. Good in A ball and then better in double A.
Wickman out of Green Bay. And he has certainly made a name for himself very quickly.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be a good one.
Here's Carmelo Martinez. He was 1 for 4 last evening. A little modest 4-game hitting streak going for Carmelo as he takes a strike. Also, Sarasota, they won a doubleheader last evening from the Royals in Baseball City. Ed Smith and Clemente Alvarez both homered in that game, or in that doubleheader. Ozzie got a tough play here. Now guns him out, and Martinez is gone. Tough hop right there on the artificial surface, and there's 2 out. There's Chuck Huff in the jacket, sitting next to the skipper. Oh, what a job he did last evening, going 7 2/3, no walks.
Charlie's getting better with each start. See Sammy Ellis. He was a great find for the White Sox. They really needed him, and he has come through.
Well, why don't you just speak up a little bit, Wimpy?
I am. I'm screaming.
It's pedal to the metal, huh?
That's it.
Here's Kurt Stillwell, switch hitting shortstop. Kurt hitting at 243. He's been something of a slump lately. 5 for his last 40. Fastball misses. Also other Sox minor league action last night. South Bend defeated Madison after trailing 5-0. Came back to win it 6-5 in South Bend. Don Shepard, I should say, was 3 for 4 for the Sox. So a good evening around the minor league camp yesterday. Minor league sites, I should say. Here's a 2-0 pitch. There's a good change. Two balls and a strike. Final from the Coliseum in Oakland. The Red Sox, the second game in a row, defeated Oakland 8-1. They beat them 3-1 last night, and 8-1 this afternoon. That hits the mound, comes over to Ozzie. Yes, nice play for the co-captain, and a 1-2-3 inning for Hibbert. Nothing across after 2, 1-0 Royals. Joey Cora leads off the top of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Kansas City. Gordon with a fastball, and the count 1-0. Cora hitting at 229, 0 for 4 last evening. No runs on 1 hit for the Sox, a run on 2 hits for Kansas City. Corners in close. As a strike and the count 1-1. And a reminder, you can enter the Southwest Airlines White Sox Home Run Derby, and you just might win a trip from Chicago to Kansas City to see the Sox and these Royals. Plus a super sweet party for 20 of your friends at New Comiskey Park. It's all part of Southwest Airlines' 20th anniversary celebration. Find out how you can win later in tonight's ball game. That's in the right field. Jim Eisenreich. Cora hit it hard right to Eisenreich.
Haha, my pick to click.
Here comes Wimpy's pick to click. Ozzie.
And yours was?
Raines.
Okay.
I'll switch to Pasqua, though.
Well, no.
Okay. Ozzie 0 for 3 last evening, hitting at 265. One final in the National League. Cubs beat the Dodgers 4-3 at Wrigley this afternoon.
Yes.
As there's a base hit into left field.
I said yes.
Oh, you can talk when the golf ball's on the line, right? Wimpy and I had a nice occasion this afternoon. Played a beautiful golf course. Alvamar in Lawrence, Kansas. Also had a chance to chat with Roy Williams, the head coach at the University of Kansas, the Jayhawks, who's done such a tremendous job. Nice guy.
Tremendous. Yeah.
I think Roy and some of his players are going to be at the game tonight. As Tim Raines steps in. You see Timmy hitting .426 in the last 18 ball games. Timmy flied to Gibson his first trip.
We're not breaking any NCAA rules, are we?
I'll tell you, I don't know the way they're going. it's unbelievable.
They got a man everywhere.
There's the strike. Flash Gordon.
Oh boy.
Yep.
See, turn that slider, that curveball, excuse me, into a slider.
Oh, he can do a lot of things with a breaking pitch.
Yeah,
that's where he can pull the string on you.
Look at that, right there, breaking down and into Timmy, swung over it.
Real tight, quick, good spin, late breaking. That's why he's punched out so many guys in his career. Range down 0-2. Fastball high off the plate. One of the best guys I've ever seen was a pitcher from Minnesota who was outstanding. Just Camilo Pascual.
Oh yeah, had a great curveball, didn't he?
Oh, great curve and great fastball too. And he started a fastball. He was a high fastball pitcher, and he started that curveball and fastball off the same spot. That one taken high, and the count 2-2. And that is what makes it so difficult, because all of a sudden now, when you throw as hard as he did, and also you also throw the curveball hard with that big break, you know, they're starting off at the same spot, and all of a sudden, zip, too late.
How would you rate Gordon as compared to Pascual?
His curveball is not as good. I think he may throw just a tad harder.
Okay. To date ourselves a little bit, how about Gordon compared to, say, Bert Blyleven? Captain. Excuse me.
I'd rather hit against Gordon than I had Blyleven, the Dutchman.
Okay.
Dutchman had that big breaking curveball. He could start it off behind you. Gordon's is a little tighter than that.
Yeah.
As there's a hook, and Tim's gone. 2 out. Second strikeout for Gordon.
Sir Charles coming up right here. Look at it. That one looks like it went straight down.
Yeah. So 2 out, and here's Robin. Robin flied to Gibson, also his first trip. That one misses. I'll tell you what your mind, when you look at Tom Gordon pitch, and just comes into your mind, if he ever learns how to backdoor the left-handed hitters, then you're really going to see something out there on the mound, that fastball high. As we talked about so many times, the best we've ever seen at that was former Sox right-hander Lamar Hoyt. He could just get those strong left-handed dudes up there, and I'm just backdoor them and freeze them, just lock them up, because it started so far outside they give up on it, and here it comes right over the outside corner.
Yeah, he was the best.
That pitch, as McFarland wanted it, didn't get it.
How about if you ever developed a changeup?
So he changes speeds on his oh, you mean the straight change?
Yeah.
Don't even say that.
Yeah.
That's on the corner. When you're talking about 25-game winner, if he can backdoor the left-handers and throw the straight change to him also. Mercy.
Yeah, because every once in a while he'll have an outing or two where his pitches aren't working that well for him. So if he could go to another pitch, he could really be overwhelming when his mediocre starts.
That's ball 4. So let's see. First walk issued by Gordon. All right, now let's check some scores out for you around both leagues. There you see a final in the Coliseum. Red Sox over Oakland 8-1. Yankees leading Texas 5-2 third at the Bronx. Toronto 1, Baltimore nothing at Memorial Stadium. And Cleveland, Minnesota just getting underway. Later on, Milwaukee, Seattle, and Detroit will take on. Over the National League, Cubs beat the Dodgers 4-3. 11-0. Mercy. Padres hammering the Buccos. 4-1 Philadelphia over Cincinnati. As Thomas pitch just misses. Other National League scores in the 5th. Montreal 4, Atlanta 4. San Francisco and St. Louis no score in the 3rd. And the Metropolitans came back to win that game from Houston last night. They're leading 2-0. Gordon right here is upset with Larry McCoy. And this is one of the things that the youngster, as we mentioned, just 23 years old, is going to have to learn how to cope with that. And when you mention his bad outings too, a lot of his bad outings, and talking to some of the Kansas City people, because of his emotions. He's still, you know, at 23 years old, he's still very emotional out there. He's got to learn. He's got to mature a little bit more. So 2 out. There's a strike. Ozzie at second, Ventura at first.
And I'll bet he gets frustrated at times too. They won't call that high curveball a strike. To most pitchers, it's a real bad pitch. It's a hanger. but he's got such a tight spin on it that it's an effective pitch for him. He can jam a lot of hitters with it.
Dadgum right, especially the left-handers. He can throw that high curveball left-handers and get away with it all day.
Yeah. But if they don't call it, I'm sure he does get frustrated.
Thomas on top, 2-1.
Bobby Valentine once told me that he felt like Flash Gordon was the toughest guy to put in play of any pitcher in the American League.
Oh, I believe that. We've talked about that before. Both of us agreed that we didn't want to hit against him.
No.
Good hack right there by Big Frank, and the count evens at 2.
Here's that high fastball once again. Well, that's a pitch you really got to lay off of. There's Mac. He doesn't look too worried, does he? Think he'll have a few gray hairs before the season's over?
Yes, he will. Because of his competitive spirit.
Yeah. I like him in this role, though, as manager of the Royals. I think he's going to do a terrific job for him.
I do, too. That's a high full count with Pasqua on deck. So 3-2, 2 out. I think Hal's going to be just outstanding.
And then maybe laying off a couple of years, like going to Montreal as the hitting coach, has done him some good to study the game a little bit more.
That's ball 4. That'll load him up.
All right. Well, here comes Dobson out there. The one thing that Gordon has had trouble with, Hawk, is walking people. You know, third best batting average against coming into this ball game at 204. But he has walked quite a few guys per innings pitched. Well, about one every 2.8 innings or so, and that's not real good for him.
Well, what they're going to try to do right here is just settle him down. They know that he's upset with the home plate umpire. As McRae looks on. So Dobson's just going to go out there and tell him forget about it. You saw Seitzer come right over. Carmelo Martinez came over. Everybody came over because they know exactly what's going through that youngster's mind out there. And you get some guys who get frustrated to the point they just let their emotions get carried away, and all of a sudden they can't find home plate.
And I'll bet you another thing he told him is to throw Danny Pasqua high fastballs in this at bat.
Well, I think the biggest thing, though, he's just trying to settle Gordon down because he had a real good rhythm up until there's a fastball strike up until Ventura. Danny single to start off last inning. There's a base hit. Ozzy's going to score. Here comes Robin. He's going to score. Big Frank on his way to third. Sox lead at 2-1. Yes. And Gordon just turned around and looked at Larry McCoy.
Well, McCoy didn't throw that last pitch. Danny Pasqua has been swinging the bat well. He drove in a run yesterday. He's got 14 RBIs now on the season. Let's take a look at it. It looked like just a spinner up there. Didn't do a whole lot with that one. Just tried to catch the back door with it. The outside corner, didn't get it. And didn't get any type of rotation. So Danny nails him for his second hit of the ball game, and the Sox lead at 2-1.
Here's Pudge. Pudge, a strikeout victim last inning. Pasqua now with 14 ribbies on the year.
Well, that's the worst curveball I think we've ever seen him throw, if in fact it was one.
That's high to left field, deep. Kirk Gibson goes back at the wall, looks up. You can put it on the board. A 3-run homer for Carlton Fisk. Yes.
All right, I wanted to scream with you. All right. 5-1 White Sox. Fastball down, and Pugsley got his big arms extended and nailed it. Homer number 3. RBIs number 19, 20, and 21. The Sox have a big 5-1 lead. Wow.
Carlton looking for it, gets it, and that's a towering home run here at Royal Stadium, one of the toughest parks in baseball to go deep in, is Sammy. Not very good.
Sammy's had 2 of the ugliest swings we've ever seen.
Sammy popped up to Shumpert in foul territory his first trip. So there you see Carlton now with his third homer. 21 knocked in. Curveball can't get it, and the count 0-2.
And there's a right-hander with a hit.
That's right. That's the first
one.
Right-handed hit we've had in 2 games here.
Oh, a huge hit, though, too. All the runs scoring once again with 2 out. Sammy Ellis checking that bat out. Oh, boy.
Yeah, Sammy's gone on the hook. McFarland comes out, throws him out. That'll be tired to the side, but the Sox do some heavy damage. 5 runs, 3 hits. No errors, nobody left. After 2.5, they lead it 5-1. Sox here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. As Tom Gordon walked 2, both of them cross the plate. Terry Shumpert will lead it off. Takes a bunt, takes the ball. In fact, the Royals in the last 2 games against the Sox have walked 4 men. 3 of them have scored. So here's the 24-year-old second baseman out of Paducah, Kentucky. Numbers on Shumpert. But he has been swinging the bat better lately. 11 for his last 32. 1 hopper, Ventura. Easy play, 1 gone. That'll bring up the center fielder, Brian McRae. See, managing fathers, combinations. Of course, Cal Sr. at Baltimore, Yogi and Dale. Connie and Earl.
A couple of friends of yours.
Connie's a good.
He played golf.
He got my money, too.
Yeah.
They all get my money, Wimpy. You know that. There's a changeover. And the count 2 strikes. Texas coming back now. Picked up a couple. They trail the Yankees 5-4 at Yankee Stadium. Toronto and Baltimore tied at 2 in the 4th at Memorial Stadium.
Oh, boy.
Weak swing pitch. Chopper. Danny taking himself. Yes.
Oh, boy. Danny Pasqua. Tell you what, Danny Pasqua is becoming an accomplished first baseman. Tell you what, he made a nice play right there. It's taking himself. We always encourage him to do that whenever you can. Keep the pitcher out of the play as much as possible. There's a great pitch by Hibbert.
Well, Danny, as we mentioned, and Robin the other night in Cleveland, making his first start ever there. As you can see, Danny putting it on. Derwin Merrill got himself in real good shape right there to make the call. He saw it. Perfect position. And that's out number 2. But Sox won 2 out of 3 at Cleveland, and both those victories, key plays at first base saved Indian runs. Gibson takes the ball. Kirk a strikeout victim his first trip.
But when you have those trouble scoring runs, defense is so important. Sox playing very well this road trip.
There's a fastball strike. Well, that's why that you and I felt like the Sox were going to come out of this thing, because it looks like they were starting to hit a rhythm defensively.
Yeah.
And our club is predicated on defense. And, of course, pitching being the first form of defense. That's chopped foul down the first line. But the pitching is going to be there. We have a good pitching staff. And even better now with Melito and the flexibility Jeff has with Perez in the bullpen. Ramon Garcia, 2 starts, has just fit right in as you look at the skipper. Charlie Huff doing his thing.
Yeah.
Alex coming out of his little slump that he had there, throwing strike, spotting the fastball. So now it boils down, the Sox have got to play defense. They've got to catch the baseball. A breaking pitch low and away, and the count 2-2. So we mentioned, Wimpy, it's just like a golfer going out and hitting 17 greens and shooting 74 the way they were playing defense before.
Gee, I wouldn't mind doing that.
If you hit 17 greens, you shoot 74, you wouldn't mind it. That breaking ball away. Right now, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Along with my partner, Tom Paciori. Got a very big case of laryngitis tonight. This is the Hawken Harrelson Royal Stadium second of this 3-game set as that ball is hammered. Watch out.
Well, if you wouldn't have hit me in the throat with the 4-iron today.
You shouldn't have made that 6-footer.
All right. Is this how Pat? Excuse me. Pat Buttram got his start.
That's right.
Talking like this. My goodness.
Once again, the payoff pitch from Hibbert. He'll grab some bench. That'll do it. 1, 2, 3 innings. Second in a row for the little Bulldog. And after 3, Sox on top 5-1. Sox here in the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Johnson, Cora, and Ozzie, the lower third of the order. As a breaking pitch high. Lance 0 for 1 fly to Gibson. Popped up, I should say, in foul territory. Kirk making a long, nice running catch. Pops this one up into right field. Jim Eisenreich, 1 gone. And a reminder that USA Today All-Star balloting continues. So just pick up a ballot today and vote for your favorite White Sox players.
The second baseman, Joey Cora.
Here's Cora. Joey led off last inning, the 5-run third for the Sox, with a line drive right to Eisenreich. Five runs on 4 hits for the Sox, have been on 2 hits for Kansas City. That's slap foul. Kansas City last night with 26,000 plus. Looks like tonight they're going to have 30,000 plus.
Great fans here.
Yeah. Well, watch out. And the count 1-1.
Put those arms away, Bo. Which way's the beach?
Conversation with some of his former mates over there. Bo on the front page of the Kansas City paper here today. A very negative column on the sports page about his comments. His former owner, Ewing Kauffman. You really don't like to see those things, Wimpy.
No, you really don't.
There's nothing to gain from anybody's side of it.
Absolutely not.
A little looper in the left field. That's going to fall. A little duck snort for Joey Cora, so he's aboard.
Look, throw all the way to first.
Hello.
Wow. You don't see that play very often. Outfielder gambling on Cora. Joey was hustling. No, he was thinking double all the way. You know, when the ball takes a funny hop here on this artificial surface, you can get a double a lot of times.
Well, you got to make that big hard turn here. As you see, McRae will just come in and air exactly what Joey did. What Wimpy was referring to. You got to be looking and thinking second base all the time here at Royal Stadium. In fact, that's one of the reasons that the Royals were so dominant a few years ago in this ballpark. They ran the bases better than everybody else.
Than anybody else ever. Maybe in the history of the game.
Well, I'll tell you, Hal McRae was one of the guys that was right there amongst them. Hal and Willie Wilson, they had some outstanding speed. Yeah. Freddie Patek was a shortstop then, and he ran very hard. Frank White. George Brett, of course. That's a broken bat base hit into right field. Cora round second. He's on his way to third. The throw by Eisenreich is not in time. Sox with runners at the corners, 1 gone. Ozzie 2 for 2. Wimpy's picked a click for those sweet golf balls.
Well, Joey Cora had a great deal to do with this base hit because they were playing in double play position. Shumpert a lot closer to second base than he would be normally. So Cora goes to third on that play, and runners at the corners for Tim Raines.
Timmy 0 for 2 tonight. He's flying to left and he struck out. So good speed aboard on the pass. Cora at third, Ozzie at first. Ozzie 9 stolen bases and 12 attempts. Just a decent lead. As a curveball high. Kansas City catchers have had good success this year in throwing out potential base stealers. They've thrown out 17 of 38.
That's good.
That's very good.
Yeah. Well, they got that infield really shortened up here because they know it's going to be tough to turn a double play on Tim Raines with that great speed. Yep.
That's academic as that ball's hit hard and deep into the right center field. It's going to be one bounce off the fence. Here comes Cora. Ozzie rounding third. He's flying. He's going to score. Raines into third. Sox lead it 7-1. Yes.
Wow.
We just got even.
Timmy just nails this one. They got a pitch upstairs. Like just a roller here.
The third baseman.
Yeah, hanging breaking ball. Not a good one. We'll take it.
Ozzie saw it all the way. Ozzie, one of the best in the American League at knowing where the outfielders are as Ventura steps in. Watch out. Robin has flied to left and he's walked. 7-7-0 for the Sox. 1-2-0 for Kansas City. There's a strike and the count evens at 1. Outfield swung around to the left. Kansas City infield in, trying to cut off Tim Raines. Raines' 4th triple of the season. High chopper. Martinez now will take it himself. 2 gone.
The designated hitter, Frank Thomas.
So with 2 out, Tim at third. Here's Big Frank. Bounced to second. Walked last inning and scored. That walk by Thomas is 48th of the season. Outfield spread out straight away. It's his curveball foul, and it will be out of play. There you see Luis Aquino down in the Royal pen. Philadelphia still leading Cincinnati 4-1, bottom of the 7th at Riverfront. Checks it up in the count 0-2. That ball hit hard in the right field, but Eisenreich is there. Hauls it in, and that'll retire the side, but not before the Sox come up with 2 more. Tim Raines' 4th triple of the year, his 15th and 16th RBIs, and after 3.5 they lead it 7-1. Some Sox fans here at Royal Stadium as the Sox lead it 7-1. 7 runs on 7 hits, no errors. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors for Kansas City. And I mean, there are a whole bunch of Sox fans in attendance here, as always, here in heartland of America. That's the story, as George Brett will lead off the 4th. It'll be Brett, McFarland, and Eisenreich. George 0 for 1, fly deep to left field his first trip. And also that group from Streator, Illinois, 36 strong from the Knights of Columbus. They're still here having a great time, so let's make it 2 for 2, then 3 for 3 tomorrow night. Jeremy and Josh went out and bought a broom today. Jerry, Kathy, Fasick from Streator, Illinois. 1-1 the count to Brett. Reminder, you can welcome the Royals to the new Comiskey Park on Sunday, June 16th at 1:35. All children will receive a White Sox t-shirt, courtesy of all the great folks at Coca-Cola. Billy O'Rourke, Marvin Herb. Outstanding people. That's hit hard, but Ozzie's right there. Throw. Number 5 out, 1 gone.
Like George jammed himself a little bit on that one. First batter out of there.
That'll bring up the catcher, Mike McFarland. Had an infield single in the first inning. And if you just joined us, Red Sox beat Oakland 8-1 at the Coliseum. They beat them 3-1 last night. 6-4 now. Yankees leading the Rangers. That's in the top of the 5th in the Bronx. As McFarland takes a curveball strike. 5th inning at Baltimore. Blue Jays Orioles still locked up at 2. Cleveland at Minnesota, top of the 5th, no score. Later on, Milwaukee at Seattle and Detroit. Takes on the Angels at the Big A in Anaheim. Pitch inside to Michael, and the count 2 balls and a strike. How's that voice, Wimpy?
Real good, thanks.
All right, I'll tell you, you just nod your head and I'll give the reaction to the fans. There you go. Uh-oh, that's it deep to left center. That ball's hit hard way back. You can put it on the board. Home run from McFarland. His 6th of the season, and it's a 7-2 game. Mercer, he hurt it.
And fortunately for the Sox, nobody was on base. He got a fastball up and out over the plate, and he nailed it. 385 mark. He just kills this one. He's strong.
So with 1 out, here's Eisenreich. Bounced out to Ventura's first trip. Fouls the fastball off. First pitch, and the count 0-1. That's the 33rd homer for Kansas City. On the other side of the page, Sox have hit 32 this season. There's a 2-hopper. Joey Cora. 2 gone. Well, with Oakland losing last night and this afternoon, let's check out the standings now. You see California a game back, followed by Texas 3.5, Minnesota 3.5, Seattle 4, Sox 6. That is including the Oakland loss this afternoon. Anybody's race over here in the West. And it looks like the Sox, knock on wood, might just be getting their rhythm together after struggling all spring and all season. Kevin Seisser takes a fastball strike. Kevin popped up to Lance in center field his first trip. Change misses. As the skipper looks on, first time he's had a 5-run lead in a while. A slashed foul. And also our congratulations to the Tigers of LSU for their victory in the College World Series. Well, they had some mashers on that club.
Big guys.
Big time power. That's low and inside, 2-2. He's gone. He'll grab some bench, and it'll retire the side. But the Royals put one on the board. Mike McFarland's 6th homer of the year, and after 4, Sox lead it 7-2. Pasqua leads off the top of the 5th inning here at Royal Stadium. 7-2. Sox lead it. And he 2 for 2 tonight. 2 RBIs. Bases loaded single. In the 3rd, when the Sox scored 5 times. And as he stands in, hitting at .262. Chops that one foul, and the count evens at 1. Also, Tim Paul and Matt Masacchio are here formerly from Chicago, now living at Wichita Falls. Big Sox fans. Tried to change up. Gave it away, missed way up high, and the count 2-1.
He's scuffling right now. Gordon is.
Just nod, Wimpy. I'll get it across. Wimpy is definitely scuffling, Skipper. It just won't come out. 3-1 to count to Pasqua. Beats it foul down by Barry Foote. Ball boy makes a nice play. A little southpaw down there. Well, the count remains 3-2. Now, Gordon had that third inning where he walked Ventura, thought he was squeezed very hard by the umpire, and after Pasqua single, just had a big letdown, and the Sox took advantage of him. As he nails Danny. That's a fourth strikeout for Gordon.
And a straight changeup right here.
As the next hitter will be Carlton Fisk. Carlton 1 for 2, but it was a big one. A 3-run homer is third, and here it is. Fastball, first ball fastball. High towering drive way back, as you will see Gibson run out of room. Pudge now with 21 RBIs on the season. You won't see too many in this ballpark right here. You won't see many higher than the one at Carlton. That was a towering fly ball.
Looked like he just missed it, but it carried out of here. Yeah, not much wind here tonight. That's one thing.
Last night there was a stiff breeze blowing from right out to left as there's the off-speed pitch in the count 1-1. And a reminder, the kids, you can be a part of the White Sox with a membership to the Silver and Black Pack. For only $15, that membership includes 6 coupons for 6 designated games, an official membership card, free Cokes at White Castle, a certificate, a t-shirt, and fun stickers. So just pick up your Silver and Black Pack application at your nearest White Castle restaurant. There's a strike in the count 1-2. Outfield straight up for Carlton. Throwing 6 long ones in the last 6 games. Turn him around. Takes a fastball, and the count evens at 2. Top of the 8th at Three Rivers. Padres shutting out the Buccos 11-0. Came down the bottom of the 8th at Riverfront. Phillies still hanging on to that 4-1 lead over Lou Pinella's Reds. There's a base hit into center field. So Carlton put his little sweet swing on him, and he's 2 for 3.
The right fielder, Sammy Sosa.
Hibbard, I'd like to see a few more on that board. He's got the 5-run lead now. As we mentioned earlier, Greg's been scuffling a little bit. Steve Arger's on the right, the conditioning coach for the Sox. As Sammy steps in, Sammy's had a tough 2 at-bats off Gordon. Popped up on a check swing, and he struck out. There goes Carlton. They were not holding him on. McFarland will have to hold it as Pudge steals his first base of the season. They just gave it to him. He took it.
Oh, when you got those great wheels, you got to make use of them. And Pugsley, number 1 on the year.
Carlton, the only catcher in baseball history with over 100 home runs and 100 stolen bases. So the outfield spread out for Sosa. That's off the corner. And the count 1-2. There's a base hit. That's in the left field. Here comes Carlton. He's rounding third. He's going to score. Sammy on his way to second. Ball gets by Gibson. Sammy now turns second. He is flying on his way to third. He will get there, and the Sox lead at 8-2. Yes.
Well, Sammy got a hanger right here and took advantage of it. Finally got himself a good pitch to hit. He nails it. Kirk Gibson can't come up with it, so Sosa at third base. He's in scoring position. Maybe Lance can get himself.
Well, they give Sammy a single there. He would have had a double anyway, but meanwhile, he's on third as Lance takes it low in the count, 1-0. That's the first error of the year by Kirk Gibson. 1-0 delivery. That's shot. That's a fair ball. Right down the right field corner. Sammy scores. Lance on his way to second base as Eisenreich gets to it. Lance now turns it on. He's going to try it. He's going to get there into third. Yes! It is a 9-2 ball game.
Well, this looks like one of those old Kansas City games in reverse. The Royals running around the base paths like they did in the 70s and early 80s. Sox turning the tables tonight.
They got the infield in. He just shoots it right by Carmelo Martinez. So Lance with a triple, his first three-bagger of the season. Knocks in his 10th run. And the skipper, Hal McRae, with that long, slow walk out to the mound. 9 runs on 10 hits for the Sox. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Royals. Well, the Sox, you give them a chance, you give the Sox a chance, they'll run you. If they're swinging the bats at all, they'll run you out of the ballpark.
They did it against a very good pitcher here tonight.
Yeah, we were both concerned about this game coming in, Weppy.
Oh, yeah.
With the breaking stuff that Tom Gordon has. Now McRae waiting till Larry McCoy gets out there. He may have wanted to just say a word or two to the home plate umpire in defense of his young right-hander. As we mentioned, back in the third, Gordon got upset with McCoy. And Wimpy, it just looked like he packed it in after that, after pass was single.
It appeared that way. He didn't make very many good pitches right after that.
All right, so a break in the action as Gordon will depart, and we'll be back to give you the numbers on the new Royal pitcher right after this. Pitching change for the Royals here in the top of the 5th inning. It'll be the 26-year-old right-hander Luis Aquino out of Puerto Rico. Luis, saw making his 15th appearance. He's worked in 28 2/3, given up 32 hits, 17 runs, walked 12, has 13 strikeouts. So Aquino on here in the 5th in relief of Tom Gordon. Partial line on Gordon, 4 1/3. 10 hits, 9 runs, 2 walks, had 4 strikeouts, and of course Lance Johnson at third is still his responsibility. So here comes Joey Cora. Joey is line to right. And he had a little duck snort single. That was last inning. Also has scored a run. Sox with 5 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 2 here in the top of the 5th inning. There's the 1 dog at third and the infield in. Outfield swung around to the left. Tough foul down by Barry Foote. And the count 0-1. Houston has scored a run. They now trail the Mets 2-1. That's in the bottom of the 4th at the Astrodome. Top of the 6th at Busch Stadium. Cardinals leading the Giants 2-1. Top of the 9th now at Riverfront. Philadelphia still leading the Reds 4-1. And also, if you did not see it, the Cubs beat the Dodgers at Wrigley this afternoon 4-3. Fastball up high, and the count evens at 1 to Joey Cora. Pino 6'1", 195 pounds, out of Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico. Right on the inside corner. Nice pitch by Luis. And the count 1-2. That's it high into right field as Eisenreich goes back. This is going to be plenty deep. Score Lance Johnson. So the sacrifice fly, and the Sox lead it 10-2. First RBI of the season for Joey Cora.
The shortstop, Ozzie.
So the line is complete on Tom Gordon. 10 runs, 10 hits. Ozzie takes a strike. Ozzie's perfect on the evening. 2 singles and 2 runs scored. Off the plate. You may have heard in the background, Tom Gordon came in with that 2.19 ERA, second best in the league. It is now 3.41. Two balls and a strike to Ozzie. Those 10 earned runs will jump that Erie up there in a hurry. Good change. Ozzie out in front. The count evens at 2. Outfield bunched a bit, shaded just to the left. As Ozzie, as he stands in, hitting at 273. Farley wanted the fastball. Aquino didn't want to throw him that. And he made a mistake as there's a base hit into right field. So Ozzie, perfect. He is 3 for 3.
Yes, he is.
Oh, you can see it when it's the golf balls, huh?
The left fielder, Tim Raines.
And you see on WGN, our next game will be Tuesday from Arlington Stadium in Texas, 7:30. Then Thursday, the finale of that 4-game set against the Rangers, and Saturday, June 15th against these same Kansas City Royals, and Saturday, June 22nd against the Rangers. Those 2 games from Comiskey Park. And on Tuesday and Thursday, that dugout show begins at 7 p.m. So here's Tim Raines. He had a big hit, 2-run triple. Timmy now with 6 doubles, 4 triples, 2 homers, and 16 ribbies. And he has his average up to 294. These 10 earned runs that Tom Gordon has given up, the most he has ever given up in one game in his career. Change up off the end of the bat. Shumpert gets there, spins, throws just in time, says Durwood Merrill. But the Sox do some more damage, scoring 3 times on 4 hits, 1 error, 1 man left. And after 4.5, they lead the Royals 10-2.
Chicago White Sox is the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. Play the lottery.
A reminder, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago White Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Chicago White Sox. Bottom of the 5th inning, 10 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Sox, 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for the Royals. Greg Hibbert, of course, he had that 11-1 victory over the Oakland A's out at the Coliseum, first of that 4-game series. He will face Martinez, Stillwell, and Shumpert, the lower third of the order. There's a strike on the outside corner, and the count evens at 1. Other American League scores: Cleveland at Minnesota, no score, bottom of the 6th. Toronto at Baltimore, still tied at 2. That's in the top of the 6th. Yankees still leading Texas 6-4, bottom of the 5th in the Bronx. And of course the Bo Sox defeated the Athletics 8-1 at the Coliseum this afternoon. Here's a 1-2 delivery. That's a base hit. So Carmelo Martinez extends his modest hitting streak to 5 games.
The shortstop, Kurt Stillwell.
And with that, it'll bring up the shortstop, Kurt Stillwell. He bounced out to his counterpart, Ozzie. That was to end the 2nd inning. Outfield will play him straight up. Ventura, even with the bag, off the line at 3rd. That's hit down the right field line, going foul. Thank you, by Will Purduefoot. Mercy. Looked like that was going to be a whole bunch of trouble there. But still, well, we'll come back with a count 0-1. Later on, Milwaukee will take on the Mariners at the Kingdome, and the Tigers against the Angels in California. So the just turned 26-year-old Royal shortstop, and he's a good one. We mentioned earlier he's scuffling with a bat lately, 5 for his last 41. That's hit into left field off the end of the bat, just a little quick. Raines broke back. Now he'll come in, and there's one gone. And with one out, a reminder that Thursday, June 20th at 7:05, the Sox host the Kansas City Royals. It will be Kodak Camera Night. That's always a good time at the ballpark when fans are able to come out on the field and photograph their favorite White Sox players. So tickets are still available at your local Ticketmaster outlet, or just call 312-831-1SOX. Here's the second baseman, Terry Shumpert. Terry bounced out to Ventura's first trip. As the outfield swings around to the right. Terry takes a strike and a count 0-1. Down low, 1-1. 10-2 Sox lead it. Trying to make it 4 out of the first 5 on this 10-game road trip. A change-up, a good one. Shumpert way out in front, and the count 1-2. And the finale here tomorrow afternoon, it'll be Jack McDowell. Jackson. He'll be teeing it up against the curveballing right-hander Mike Boddicker. As all Sox fans know, Boddicker is always giving the Sox fits. Tries to pull that one. Adrian Garrett will boot it, and the count remains 1-2. The Yankees have added a couple of more. Now lead the Rangers 7-4. That's in the top of the 6th in New York. Low 2-2. Pops him up right side. Pasqua coming on. Now Fisk says he'll take it. Gets rid of the mask. Makes the catch. And there's 2 gone.
The center fielder, Brian McRae.
So with Carmelo Martinez at first base, 2 out. Here's the center fielder, the leadoff hitter, Brian McRae. 1 for 2, has scored one of the 2 Kansas City runs. Brian, just 23 years old, made his debut here last year against the Sox. Hits this one hard. Ozzie cannot get there. So McRae 2 for 3. So 2 out, 2 on, and a pinch hitter for Kirk Gibson. That'll be Gary Thurman. Gibby tonight was 0 for 2 against Hibbard. So you see the numbers on Thurman. 241, a homer, 4 RBIs. Gary. He's a speedster. Martinez at second, McRae at first. Thurman takes it low. There's a base hit in the right field. Sammy gets to it. Martinez cannot run. Here's a throw by Sosa. They're going to hold Martinez at third. The intimidation on the outstanding arm of Sammy Sosa. Boy, he got a great jump, got to that ball in a hurry. Just as rocket out there. Sammy off and running, and Garrett, third base coach, said, Carmelo, you're not going anywhere. And indeed, he would have been a gone goose. So 3 hits here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Panther. And there's another situation. We've been keeping a little running score on our books up here, just how many runs that Sammy will save by having the third base coach hold him at second on a base hit to right field instead of going first to third. Andar from second, not coming home. So the bases loaded with 2 gone. And here's number 5. George is fly to left, and he's bounced to short. Base hit. Here comes Martinez. Here comes McRae. Thurman. He's just flying into third base. He'll stop there. And it's a 10-4 ball game. So a big 2-out, 2-run single for George Brett. Knocks in RBIs numbers 7 and 8 on the season. And that'll bring up the catcher, Mike McFarland. Mike is 2 for 2, a single, an RBI, and a solo homer. Ten runs, 11 hits for the Sox, 4 runs, 7 hits for the Royals. Pasqua playing behind Brett. As McFarland takes a strike at the knees on the outside corner. Hard hit Ozzie on a backhand play over to Cora. And they force Brett at second. That will be the 3rd out. Good play by Ozzie and Joey Cora. But the Royals pick up a couple on 4 hits. No errors, 2 men left. After 5, 10-4 Sox. Sixth inning. 10 runs, 11 hits for the Sox, 4 runs, 7 hits for Kansas City. Robin Ventura leads it off. It'll be Ventura, Thomas, and Pasqua as Luis Aquino. Robin checks it up, and the count 1-1. Robin is fly to left. He's walked, scored a run, and he's bounced to first. Change up. This is trouble. Aquino's got to make it. The barehanded play underneath. Throws the ball wild as it goes into the stands. So that'll be a base hit and an error. There's Dennis Jimenez, 38-year-old veteran, on that close play at second base. And here's where Joy makes a nice play. Just does get George, and watch George's reaction. He's a piece of work. He's a 38-year-old kid. Loves to play this game. What an asset he is to his profession. Gary Thurman remains in left field in place of Kirk Gibson. As Big Frank steps in, he's 0 for 2, walked and scored a run. Keno delivers a fastball on the count 0-2. Last night and tonight does not look like that Thomas picking up the ball very well in this ballpark. Jumping at it a lot more than he normally does. Pitch off the plate. Of course, the pitching that he saw last night, Kevin Napier, that youngster was just outstanding. 23-year-old right-hander. They were 2 runs on 5 hits, had 9 strikeouts. As he loops this one into right field, that's going to fall for a base hit. Here comes Robin. He's going to score, and it's an 11-4 ball game. RBI number 40 for Thomas.
The first baseman, Dan Pascal.
They don't put pictures on scorecards, says Biff Frank. He'll take it. So with Big Frank at first, here's Pasqua. Danny is 2 for 3, 2 RBIs and a run scored. Takes a fastball right there and the count 0-1. There you see the RBI leaders: Hindu, Cecil, Winfield, and Big Frank. Outside, 1-1 the count to Danny. Changes up. Yes, he did, says Larry McCoy, and the count 1-2. And if you joined us late, my partner, Tom Paciorek, has a severe case of laryngitis. Grunt or something, Wimpy. Just let him know you're here. He's still here. Danny just checks it up. Oh, a big, strong hammer, as his teammates call him. Very quiet individual, well respected by this club. Takes it high off the plate, and the count 2-2. Peruse some scores for you. Cubs beat the Dodgers 4-3 at Wrigley. Atlanta now leading Montreal 5-4, bottom of the 7th, down at Fulton County Stadium. That's just off the plate, and the count goes full. Cardinals still leading the Giants 2-1, bottom of the 7th in St. Louis. Houston trailing the Mets 2-1, bottom of the 6th at the Astrodome. So with nobody out, 3-2. Big Frank takes off. That ball is sliced into left field. Gary Thurman is there. He'll make the catch, and it's out number 1. Bottom of the 9th at Three Rivers, Padres 11.
The catcher,
Jimmy Leland's Buccos, nothing. Final from Riverfront. Philadelphia beat the Reds 4-1. A little later on, we'll give you some particulars, some winners, losers, and homers in the Major League scores. As Pudge steps in, Carlton 2 for 3. Cranked out his 3rd homer of the year, a high towering 3-run shot in the 3rd inning. Then he singled and scored in the 5th. Takes a breaking pitch low and away. I want to send out a big White Sox hello to Mount Shasta, Washington. Ruben Lucio and his family. Ruben, big White Sox fan, looking on. And of course, Ruben, one of the finest haircutters in the country. Probably cut more Major League players' hair than any barber in the country. All the Angels and Dodgers and Red Sox, all the teams. They used to wait till they got to California to have Ruben Quaffle takes it up high. 3-0 to Carlton. '26-year-old right-hander Luis Aquino. That's ball 4. So Big Frank will move down to second. And while Sammy steps in, a reminder that Friday, June 21st at 7:05, the Sox play host to the Texas Rangers. Be one of the first 20,000 fans to arrive in the park and receive a diamond sock pin, courtesy of Scott Peterson. Tickets are still available. Just call or visit your nearest Ticketmaster outlet, 312-831-1SOX. Here's Sammy, 1 for 3, an RBI and a run scored. Takes the fastball a little inside. Just nips the outside corner. Good pitch by Aquino, and the count evens at 1. 11-13-0 for the Sox. 4-7-2 for Kansas City. Sox trying to get back to that 500 mark as they came in 25-26. There's a breaking ball low. With a look at Big Frank and a 2-1 delivery. Chopper. Stillwell over to Shumpert. They force Carlton, and there's 2 gone. No chance to turn it over.
The center fielder, Lance Johnson.
So that'll bring up Lance. Lance had a triple, knocked in a run last inning. And as he steps in, let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Along with Tom Paciorek, this is Ken Harrelson from Royal Stadium. As Lance takes it down low, and Tom, once again, might be the only time you'll ever hear him this quiet. He's trying, it just won't come out. This is beat to the right side. Shumpert up with it over to Stillwell. They force Sammy, and that'll retire the side. But the Sox put another one on the board. RBI single by Thomas. Couple of hits, 1 error, 2 left after 5.5. 11-4 Sox. Advertiser of White Sox baseball is King Dodge, where it's Advantage Dodge. Put that catcher's mitt down, Bo. Bottom of the 6th inning, 11-4. Sox on top, and Bo having a lot of fun coming back. First time in a gray uniform here at Royal Stadium. So his teammates beat Kansas City last night. Charlie Huff, a beautiful game. No walks as he and Scott Radinsky shut him out 2-0. And the Sox came out swinging the bats tonight off the tough right-hander. There's Chuck Huff. Sox came out swinging the bats off Tom Gordon this evening. They got a little help. Gordon got a little frustrated there in the 3rd inning. A couple of walks. Thought he was getting squeezed, and all of a sudden Danny Pasqua, a big bases loaded single and knocking a pair, and then Carlton Fisk. First ball fastball hitting off Gordon. Took him high and deep out of here. But for the Royals here in the 6th, it'll be Eisenreich, Seitzer, and Carmelo Martinez. And we see the 32-year-old St. Cloud, Minnesota native, 0 for 2 tonight. Checks this one up. Ventura can't make the play. That'll be an infield hit.
The third baseman,
As did Big Frank. Eisenreich says they don't put pictures on scorecards. You can see Greg right there may have been able to make it. He was looking for a little help. He didn't get it. It wasn't because they weren't there. They just were not in position. Greg's got to know that. Kevin Seitzer steps in. He takes it low and inside. Kevin has popped the center, and he struck out. We mentioned last evening, Kevin playing with a broken bone in his right hand. He has a cast underneath that glove when he's hitting. Ventura, Ozzie looking to barehand play. Yes, what a play by Ozzie. Hello. Ozzie, knowing that Eisenreich on this chopper right here had the good lead over there. He's got good speed, and watch him barehanded, a lot of spin, makes the play. The ball just stuck in his hand. That's why Ozzie was shaking it out. Gets it over to Cora for the force on Eisenreich. Oh, that was outstanding, Wimpy. Grunt. Okay, good. Here's Martinez. Wimpy said that was real good. Sox fans shaking his head, clapping his hands. Martinez 1 for 2. Down low, 2-0. There you see that following this ball game, the 9 o'clock news will be coming your way. Other scores in the American League. Yankees now leading Texas 8-4. They scored another one. That's in the 7th inning, top of the 7th. Toronto at Baltimore still tied at 2 in the 7th. As Martinez takes it low, 3-0. Minnesota has scored 1. They now lead Cleveland 1-0. Still hitting in the bottom of the 7th inning, and later on Milwaukee at Seattle and Detroit at California. There's a strike on the outside part of the plate. Pops this one up right side. Cora makes the call. And there's 2 gone.
The shortstop, Kurt Stillwell.
So Bo's happy at what he's looking at with his new teammates as the shortstop, Kurt Stillwell, steps in. Kurt has bounced to short, and he's flied to left. Takes it outside. Pasquard playing way back of Seitzer at first. 11 runs, 13 hits, no errors for the Sox. 4 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors for Kansas City. There goes Seitzer. So he moves into second base. They were not holding him on, so it will not be a stolen base. And it's going to pay off as there's a base hit. He's going to score on a single by Stillwell, and it's an 11-5 game. So the 18th RBI for Kurt Stillwell. And here comes the second baseman, Terry Shumpert. They were just playing way back of Seitzer, just giving him the bag, inviting him to go, and even though it was 11-4 game, he took advantage of it, as Fisk did earlier. So turnabout's fair play. Didn't get upset at that, and the count 0-2. Sometimes not as much, anywhere near as much it was in the past. Fisk would not have been running as Seitzer would not have been running. But meanwhile, that's not the way it is. So the Sox cannot get mad at Seitzer. They're the ones that played behind him. One 1-0 pitch. Chop foul, and the count evens at 1. So the Royals with a run in the first, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth. Sox with 5 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 3 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. Change, hit foul down the third base way. So the count 1-2. Covered early in Milwaukee. Had a big lead and had trouble pitching with it. In fact, they took him out of there. Of course, he did win the 11-1 game out in Oakland, first of that 4-game series at the Coliseum. But some pitchers have trouble pitching with a big lead. That's beat left side. Ventura bottles it. Now goes over to Cora in time as they force Stillwell, and that'll retire the side. But a gift run to the Royals here in the 6th inning on 2 hits. 1 man left after 6. 11-5 Sox. 7th inning. 11-13-0 for the Sox. 5-9-2 for Kansas City, and a pitching change for the Royals. It'll be the 30-year-old southpaw Mark Davis, 6'4", 210 pounds, making his 13th appearance at 1-1 record, 5.23 ERA. He has 1 save. Worked in just 10 in the 3rd, giving up 9 hits, 6 runs, 11 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Mark Davis certainly not the guy that the Royals signed as a former Cy Young winner in the National League a couple of years ago. Came over here and has just not done the job. They tell us he's been throwing the ball very well as Joey Cora fouls off the fastball. There's the pitching coach Pat Dobson, who had him when he was a Cy Young Award winner. Pat said he's been throwing the ball very well. But the fans here in Kansas City have been giving him some problems. We've seen it happen in the past to other individuals, pitchers, and hitters, that their hometown fans just hooted on them as Joey fouls this out of play. Cora 1 for 2 tonight. Single, a run scored, and an RBI. His first American League RBI. But Davis in '89 had 44 saves for the Padres. 4-3 record and a 1.85 ERA in 70 appearances. Comes over to Kansas City last year, and we all know he had just a very difficult time in 53 games, 2-7, 5-11, and just 6 saves. Well, you're paying somebody $4 million a year, or right thereabouts. Sometimes an athlete puts too much pressure on himself, trying to justify the money. And as we were talking the other day, if Pat Dobson, who's tried everything, trying to let's beat up the middle, 2 hopper, Shumpert, and he throws Cora out, 1 gone. But if you could figure out the causes and therefore innovate and create the cure, you wouldn't be a pitching coach or a manager. You could put it in written form and sell more books and spend more money than you could ever make, or make than you could ever spend, I should say. So here's Ozzie. Ozzie's perfect on the evening. 3 for 3 and 2 runs scored. Ozzie now fouls the fastball off. He was hitting .321 in his last 15 ball games, and his average up to .277 tonight. He's raised it 12 points. And a reminder, there are still individual game suites available. You can enjoy these luxury suites as the Sox take on the Royals or the Indians. Just call the Sox sales office at 312-924-1000. Ozzie checks it up on the high inside fastball, and count quickly 0-2. Final now from Pittsburgh. Padres shut them out 11-0. I mentioned Philadelphia over Cincinnati 4-1. Cardinals still leading the Giants 2-1, top of the 8th at Busch Stadium. Houston has now taken a 3-2 lead over the Mets. That's in the top of the 7th at the Astrodome. And the Braves leading Montreal 7-5, bottom of the 8th down at Fulton County Stadium. Good hack by Ozzie right there. Not a good pitch at all. 0-2. Fastball up out over the plate. Boy, that 0-2 fastball right there. Breaking ball. As he hits it in the right field, Eisenreich makes the catch, and there's 2 gone.
The left fielder, Tim Raines.
Carlton Fisk with his 3rd homer tonight. Also Pudge a single, another run scored. But with 2 out, here's Tim Raines. Tim's 1 for 4, had that 2-run triple in the 4th inning. Of course, these two have faced each other a few times. There's that good hook from Davis. At one time, probably the best left-handed curveball in the game. Well, you just like to be able to get in that head. And there's a good change. Just figure out sometimes the complexities of the athlete's mind. But it can't be done. They tell us he's just a super guy. Works very hard. As Tim takes it a little low. And has really felt very, very embarrassed about the performance. That's inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I mentioned the 44 saves that he had in '89. He had 28 in 1988. So that's 72 in 2 years. Mark originally started in the Philadelphia organization, went to the Giants, and then San Diego, now Kansas City. As a curveball, Timmy just gets a piece of it. Skipper Jeff Tallborg likes to see those 11 runs on the board. It has been since Oakland that they've come anywhere close to that. That's inside, full count. We've talked about so many times, Sox are not going to beat you over the head with their bats. But they will pitch with you. They will, when they're playing well, catch the ball with you, which has been the bane of the Sox thus far in '91. But the one thing they will do is they will bust their butts with you better than you will. Let's chop left side. Here comes Seitzer. Gets it on the big hout. Watch out, that ball just gets by Raines into Martinez's glove, and that'll retire the side. So Davis comes in and gets the Sox in order, and after 6.5, 11-5 White Sox. For you, first in the American League, Boston over the Oakland A's 8-1 at the Coliseum. 8-4 Yankees leading the Rangers in the 7th in the Bronx. 2-2 Toronto at Baltimore in the 7th. See, Minnesota scored another one, now leading Cleveland 2-0 at Minneapolis in the 8th. No score of Milwaukee at Seattle in the 1st. Same for Detroit at California in the 1st. Over in the National League, the Cubs come back to beat the Dodgers this afternoon 4-3. San Diego hurt the Pirates 11-0 at Three Rivers. Philadelphia, for the 2nd game in a row, beat the Reds 4-1 at Riverfront. Atlanta now leading Montreal 7-4 in the 8th down in Georgia. 2-1 Cardinals over the Giants in the 8th in St. Louis, and Houston leading New York 3-2 in the 7th down at the Astrodome. Right here, Sox lead it 11-5. For the Royals here in the bottom of the 7th, it'll be the top of the order. McRae, Thurman, and George Brett. The Sox at this point, if they can hang on, win this ball game, will move to within 5.5 of Oakland. But the big thing is the rhythm. Sox are starting to make most of the plays as McRae takes it down inside defensively. We've just talked about so often, this is a defensive ball club. defensive-oriented ball club. If they make the plays, they'll play with anybody. But when they don't, they look awful ugly out there. Jeff and I were talking yesterday as you look at Torborg about just the possibilities of Melito Perez as the 2-0 pitch over to McRae. That Melito Perez gives him the flexibility because of the fact of that splitter. Melito can be effective. He can use him against left-handers as well as right-handers. And as we mentioned in last night's ball game, as that pitch down low, 3-1 to count. Right-handers over Melito's career are hitting more off him than left-handers. So the flexibility that he can give Jeff Torborg, big time. There's a strike and the count goes full. Little Hal Sr. Hal McRae, the dad, the manager, had his son taking him 3-1. There's southpaw Ken Patterson, son of Gene from Waco. That's in the hole. Ozzie cannot make the play. He wouldn't have thrown him out anyway. He knew that. So McRae 3 for 4 tonight.
Left fielder, Gary Thurman.
10th hit given up by Hibbard. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Gary Thurman, who came in to pinch hit for Kirk Gibson. That was in the 5th inning. Gary had a base hit. We have not had any report if Gibson was injured or if it was just because of the fact he was 0 for 2 off Hibbard. And Hal McRae wanted to rest him a little bit with the big Sox lead. There's a bunt going foul. We mentioned Thurman can run. Last year at Omaha had 39 stolen bases. '87 at Omaha had 58. Stole 70 at Fort Myers. He's a horse. One strike pitch. That's a base hit in the right field. So Thurman 2 for 2 as McRae will hold at second. Now Patterson. You see Sammy Ellis. He gets a sign down there from Dave LaRoche that indeed Patterson is ready. So we're going to look at that lineup card. George Brett, the hitter, as Carlton and Ozzie go out, and here comes Torborg. George has seen him 3 times. Hit the ball hard and deep to left field his first trip, bounced to short in the 4th, and then he had a 2-run single in the 5th. I would imagine this is going to be all for Hibbert, as Jeff does indeed make the sign to the pin. So a break in the action here at Royal Stadium, bottom of the 7th. Sox lead at 11-5. Hibbert will depart, and we'll be back to give you the numbers on Ken Patterson right after this. 26-year-old southpaw Ken Patterson comes on, making his 14th appearance. Kenny with that 1-0 record, no saves. Ken has worked in 16 2/3, given up 15 hits, 10 runs, 10 walks, 10 strikeouts. But most of the walks and the runs came early on. Kenny, starting off the season, was really not throwing the ball that well. In the last 3 times out, he's added about a foot to that fastball of his, and we'll just have to see tonight if he has retained it. But that's a story here at Royal Stadium as the Sox try to make it 2 in a row over Kansas City. 11-13-0 for the Sox, 5-11-2 for the Royals. Nobody out. McRae at second, Thurman at first, and here's George Brett. As we mentioned, Brett 1 for 3 tonight, a 2-run single in the 5th inning. Brett takes a strike, and the count 0-1. George with that brace on his right knee. Talking with Hal McRae yesterday. George probably, well, it looks like maybe even for the rest of his career in that DH role. Of course, not too many guys know the game better than George Brett, and he says that he loves to be out on the field, but right now it just appears that he's better off not out on the field defensively, as Patterson just misses the outside corner, and the count evens at 1. Was Brett one of the great gamers of all time? Could have played in any era and been an all-star in any era. Never seen that man right there dog it one time since he has come into this league. The 1-1 pitch. Ooh, what a hack. Ball and 2 strikes. George and I were talking yesterday about Kimmer, his brother, who pitched with the White Sox at one time. Started off in the Boston Red Sox organization. And Kimmer had one of the outstanding great arms, one of the truly great arms, before he hurt it. In today's standards with a gun, he would be right there at 97, 98, 100-mile-an-hour range with good movement. He'd just blow you away, but George was talking about how he was just a much better hitter than George. But George just does get a piece of it. George, there was no comparison. Kimmer could mash, but he wanted to pitch. Of course, White Sox fans will recall that Ken Brett could swing that bat. They used him as a pinch hitter many times. Sox with, in their history recently, Gary Peters. He could hit. So the 1-2 count to Brett. Nobody out here in the 7th. That's hit hard. Deep. Sammy back. One hop off the fence. Here comes McRae. Here comes Thurman. Brett in the second with a double. He has 4 RBIs, and it's 11-7. Sox. That's a hanging slider right there from Patterson, and Brett, a classic swing. He does not miss it. Thank goodness he didn't get that one a little higher. It's out of here. So the Royals jump right back into this ball game. Here's the catcher, Mike McFarland. He has homered tonight. Single, and he's hit into a force play. Going inside, and the count evens at 1. Brett 11th on the all-time double list. He now has 565. Charlie Gehringer is next with 574, followed by Paul Wainer, Hank Aaron. There's that pitch outside, and the count 2-1. George also has moved into 20th spot all time in the extra base category, ahead of Al Kaline. George now with 974 extra base hits. Pitch inside, and the count 3-1 to McFarland. Barry Foote and Jeff Tolborg. Well, this thing is drifted away gradually. Royals with 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and 2 here in the 7th. Full count to Michael. Payoff pitch. Shot in the left field. Right at Raines. Timmy right there. Well, that ball was hammered. Brett was going to fake a going into third, and his knee just gave out on him. See the grimace on George's face. Boy, he went a couple of steps and just collapsed right here. Well, he tripped a little bit right there. That's his bad knee. So with one out, here's Eisenreich. Jim 1 for 3, had an infield single on a check swing. That was last inning. Takes it up high. (11, 13-0 for the Sox, 7, 12-2 for the Royals. Eisenreich tardy right there, and the count evens at 1. Minnesota still shutting out Cleveland 2-0. That's in the top of the 9th inning at Minneapolis. The Twins on a 6-game winning streak, looking to make it 7. A little low, 2 balls in the strike. No activity down in the Sox pen. Yes, there is. Don Paul, the right-hander. As he can't get it, and the count evens at 2. Two delivery. Milwaukee scored a pair in the top of the 1st inning at the Kingdome. Mariners hitting in the bottom of the 1st. Detroit at California, no score, bottom of the 2nd. Once again, the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball way high and inside, and the count goes full. Toronto broke that 2-2 tie with the Orioles. Bottom of the 8th now, Memorial Stadium. Blue Jays leading 8-2. That's into left field. Raines is there. 2 gone. And with 2 out, here comes Tolbora. Third baseman Kevin Sicer, the hitter. So Jeff's going to go to that bullpen. He's going to start putting this thing, or trying to, with his pen, back into perspective. So there you see, number 22, the Pope, Don Paul, coming on, and we'll be back to give you his numbers right after this. There you see the 29-year-old right-hander Don Paul, a record of 2-1, 0.90 ERA, making his 19th appearance. 90 with no saves. He's worked in 20 innings, giving up 18 hits, just 5 runs, 6 walks, and has punched out 9 hitters. So the line on Greg Hibbert,
Now pitching for the White Sox, number 22.
is complete 6+ innings, 7 runs all earned, 11 hits, no walks, and had 3 strikeouts. As Hal McRae looks on, seeing his ball club come back down 11-4, and they have just jumped right back into this thing. There it is. George Brett at second. 2 gone, and here's Sicer. Kevin 0 for 3 tonight. Popped to center, struck out, and hit into a force play. Mentioned earlier the 29-year-old third baseman with a broken bone, playing with it in his right hand. Very, very tender. There's George at second. Has a strike on the inside corner. And of course, his best pitch is an outstanding split finger fastball. He will change speeds with it. Occasional breaking pitch, but the split finger is his. There it is. Little low, says Larry McCoy, and the count evens at 1. Yankees now leading Texas 10-4. That's in the bottom of the 8th. And of course, that's where the Sox will be headed after tomorrow's game down to Arlington to take on the Rangers in a 4-game series. There's a strike. Seitzer didn't like the call. So the count 1-2. And they just flash a final up. Minnesota has defeated Cleveland 2-1. So the Twins now with a record of 30-25 and a 7-game winning streak. 1-2 pitch hit hard into center field. Lance broke in, now goes back, reaches up. He recovered nicely, makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. But the Royals with 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 1 man left. And after 7, Sox hanging on. There it is. Here in the top of the 8th inning. The Sox, it'll be Ventura, Thomas, and Pasqua. The scheduled hitters to face the southpaw Mark Davis. And a reminder that Milk Duds and Jolly Rancher candies offer kids a chance to become a celebrity bat boy or girl. Winners receive great prizes and the chance to go down the field at Comiskey Park to meet White Sox players. There's that pitch high and the count 1-0. So if you want a chance to become a celebrity bat boy or girl, just look for details wherever Milk Duds and Jolly Rancher candies are sold. Robin 2 for 4 tonight. Fouls it off and the count 1-1. Ozzie getting some of that blood to go down a little bit, stretching him out. Ozzie 3 hits this evening as that hook over. Ball and 2 strikes to Robin, now hitting at 270. Curveball low, 2-2. And that Boston 8-1 victory over Oakland. Roger Clemens a winner. Rocket 8-3. Joe Slosarski out of Springfield a loser. He is 2-3. 1 run on just 2 hits for the A's. Robin just gets a piece of that curveball. Dave Henderson homered. Number 15, Hindu. That was in the 2nd inning for the only Oakland run. Yankees leading Texas, as we mentioned, 8-4. Gonzalez is homer for the Rangers, number 7. Mel Hall, number 9. Noakes 8 and Sachs 3 for the Pinstripers as Robin's gone. First strikeout for Davis.
Designated hitter.
Toronto scored 6 in the top of the 8th to break that 2-2 tie with Baltimore. Jimmy Key started that game for the Blue Jays. Jeff Robinson started for the Orioles. They're into the 9th inning. Toronto leading 8-2. Here's Big Frank. Fastball strike. Thomas 1 for 3 tonight. Picked up his 40th RBI back in the 6th inning. Also a walk to give him 48 on the season. Hard hit, Stilwell, 1 hopper, right over the top. Boy, he's got that classic throwing motion. He and Alan Trammell, they just get it, plant, go right over to the top. Very true throw. 2 gone.
The first baseman, Dan Pascal.
Scott Erickson picked up his 9th victory as he beat Nagy of the Indians 2-1. Aggie, Rick Aguilera, picked up his 15th save. Twins, as we mentioned, have now won 7 in a row. Here's Danny. Danny 2 for 4, had 2-run single in the 3rd inning. That's what that curveball will do to some of those left-handers. It'll just straighten you up. Final now from Georgia. Braves beat Montreal 7-5. Houston still leading the Mets 3-2, top of the 9th at the Astrodome. And Caminetti's 2-run homer. That was in the 6th inning, put the Stros on top. 2-1 the count to Pasqua. They're into extra innings at Busch Stadium. Giants tied up the Cardinals at 2. Two-one delivery. Hammered. Yes, right by Carmelo Martinez, who didn't get much of a jump on it, down into the corner. So Pasqua, Danny into second with a double. That's his 6th two-bagger of the season, his 3rd hit of the evening.
The catcher, Carlton Fisk.
Did not look like Carmelo Martinez got any kind of a jump whatsoever on this one. So with 2 out, Danny at second. Here's Pudge. He's 2 for 3. Struck out, hit a 3-run homer, single, scored, and he's walked. That home run coming back in the 3rd. If you joined us late, it was a towering drive into the Sox bullpen. As McFarland going to have a little chat with Mark Davis. Sammy Sosa on deck. So we'll see how they want to go about Carlton, and I would imagine it would be very carefully. Curveball strike. Carlton thought it might have been a little high. That homer by Pudge in the 3rd is 25th career home run against Royal pitching. Look at home plate umpire Larry McCoy. Outfield straight up. Tried to backdoor and missed, and the count evens at 1. Padres shut out the Pirates 11-0 at Three Rivers. San Diego has really been playing some good baseball lately. The ball, a strike, 2 out. Top of the 8th inning. Drops that curveball nicely in and over right there. Took just enough, maybe 4 or 5 inches off of it. Carl could not pull the trigger. This is just 4 or 5 inches shorter than that first one he threw in. See, Pudge upset. That was a good pitch to hit, and he just couldn't turn it loose. So the count 1-2. Him to step off. Well, it's 1-2 count with a hook like Mark Davis has gives him a very large strike zone in the mind of the hitter. He can drop it down and in, try to backdoor you, or come with a fastball upstairs. That's a lot of area to cover. Pulls a string on him. So Carlton way out in front, and that'll do it. Nothing across. It was a 2-out double by Pasqua. After 7.5, it's 11-7 Sox. Bottom of the 8th inning. 11-14-0 for the Sox. 7-12-2 for Kansas City. For the Royals here in the 8th, it'll be the lower third of the order. Carmelo Martinez, Kurt Stillwell, and Terry Shumpert to face the right-hander Don Paul. Don, the 3rd Sox pitcher of the evening. Greg Hibbert started, relieved by Ken Patterson. And now the Pope. As Martinez steps in, he's 1 for 3. A single to lead off the 5th inning. He scored a run. He's also bounced to short, and he's popped to second. Little slider right there by the Pope, and the count 0-1. No score. Detroit at California, bottom of the 3rd inning. That's to Ozzie. A routine. Angels with a victory over the Tigers tonight can move to within a half game of the A's. They were beaten by the Rocket Roger
The
Clemens
shortstop, Kurt Stillwell.
on a 2-hitter. 8-1 this afternoon. And if you joined us late, my partner, Tom Paciorek, is all right, but he has a severe case of laryngitis. I understand he just went to the doctor, and the doctor told him not to say anything, so just grunt. Okay, Wimpy, you're good. Want to know the count? Stillwell, 1 for 3. RBI single in the 6th. 36,018. And attendance this evening is Carlton wanted that pitch, couldn't get it. Top of the 9th inning at Yankee Stadium. Bronx Bombers leading the Rangers 10-7. There's on the outside corner. Stillwell just turned 26, as we mentioned. Been having a tough go the last 45 at bats or so. Make no mistake about it. He's a good one. Got that one up. Hammered to Pasqua. He'll make the play and take it himself. And there's 2 gone. So the Pope got away with a mistake right there as you look at Danny Pasqua, who has been throwing some leather. I mean, some severe leather on this trip. Danny, Lou Piniella always said it, and Lou was the first one to make everybody aware that Dan Pasqua, because of his strength and his power, everybody said, well, he's just a strong guy, not a good defensive player. Lou used to stick him out there in the outfield or at first base and never worry one thing about it. He said he's the most underrated defensive player on his club. He's come over with the Sox, and he's just been outstanding. A little better speed than you would think for his size, good throwing arm, and very sure hands. Here's the second baseman, Terry Shumpert. Terry 0 for 3 tonight. He is 0 for 5 in the first 2 games of this series. Takes it up high and a count 2-0. Larry McCoy rings up the strike, and it's 2-1. Minnesota still leading Seattle 2-0. That's now in the bottom of the 3rd at the Kingdome. Fastball high off the plate. So Paul behind 3-1. You don't want any walks. White Sox pitchers tonight have issued no bases on balls. Last night, when they shut him out 2-0, issued no bases on balls. Pops him up right side. The Pope comes back as Joey Cora makes the call. And Don Paul retires the Royals in order here in the 8th. They'll go to the 9th, leading Kansas City 11-7. It's the top of the 9th inning as the Sox try to make it 2 in a row over Kansas City and 4 out of the first 5 on this 10-game road trip. It'll be Sosa, Lance Johnson, and Joey Cora to face the southpaw Mark Davis. Sammy 1 for 4 tonight, had a big RBI single back in the 5th inning, also scored a run. Davis, that curveball, watch out, that is slashed into the seats. Everybody okay? Boy, that really just scares the daylights out of the player who hit it. All the players on the field, when they see those line drives going over the dugouts. Fastball high off the plate, and the count 1-1. Giants did not score in the top of the 10th at Busch Stadium in a 2-2 tie with the Cardinals. Mets tied up the Astros at 3. They're into the top of the 10th inning in Houston. A good hook. 1-2 the count. Right now let's pause for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
along with the silent whimperoo, Tom Paciorek. He's waving. He's waving. He's got the laryngitis. This is Ken Harrelson as Sammy chases that curveball down and in. McFarland picks it up, throws him out. So that's the third strikeout for Davis. And once again, a reminder that immediately following the Sox tonight, it will be indeed the 9 o'clock news right here on Channel 9. So here's Lance. Lance tripled in a run and scored a run in the 5th inning. Lance picking up his first 3-base hit of the season, takes the curveball for a strike. Cubs beat the Dodgers 4-3 at Wrigley. And a pitch outside, and the count 1-1. Fastball looped out into center field. Here comes McRae. He'll have to pull it up, taking on the first bounce. So a little duck snort right there for Lance. He'll take it. They don't put pictures on the scorecards.
The second baseman, Joey Cora.
Right off the end of the bat, the fastball from Davis. So Lance 2 for 5. And one dog a little happy about that one. In the slump that he's been going through, he's hit a couple of line drives right at the right fielder, a couple at the center fielder. So he'll take it. Here's Joey Cora. Joey 1 for 3. Joey a single, a run scored. He picked up his first RBI in the Sox uniform. That was in the 5th inning. Sox scored 5 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. Lance a good lead. One dog has 9 stolen bases in 12 attempts. Sox have 51 as a club. Lance does not go on point as that's hit right back through the middle. So a base hit for Joey Cora as Lance will hold a second. Brian McRae quickly gets to it. Third hit given up by Davis. And here comes Ozzie. Ozzie singled in the 3rd. He singled in the 4th. He singled in the 5th. He also has scored 2 runs. And he's flying to right. Final now from Busch Stadium. Cardinals beat the Giants 3-2 in 10 innings. Terry Shumpert sneaking in behind Lance. In the finale tomorrow afternoon, it'll be Jack McDowell against Mike Boddicker. Curveball right there just froze Ozzie, and the count 0-1. Mike Boddicker a record of 5-4 with a 3.16 ERA, and McDowell 6-3 with a 3.74 ERA. He took a little something off that hook, and Ozzie could not hang back on it. See Ozzie getting out there over that right hip, that front hip. And once you get in that position, the only thing you can do is push the bat. The 0-2 pitch. Curveball. Ozzie just reaches out. Martinez now nobody as Mark Davis does not get over there. It'll be a base hit, bases loaded. Yes. So Ozzie 4 for 5 tonight. That was Wimpy's pick to click. So you're going to win the 3 golf balls, Whimperoo. Give me a grunt.
The left fielder, Tim Raines.
Mark Davis watching. He just stand there. He's going to be a spectator. He's going to watch Martinez make the play. He writes down yes. So with one out, here's Tim Raines for the 6th time tonight. He is 1 for 5, but that one hit a big one, a 2-run triple in the 4th inning. Good speed on the base paths. Johnson at 3rd, Cora at 2nd, and Ozzie at 1st. Then he takes it low. 11-17-0 for the Sox, 7-12-2 for Kansas City. That fastball, base hit into left center field. Here comes 1. Here comes 2. Ozzie. Now they're going to hold him at 3rd, so a 2-run double for Tim Raines, and it is 13-7. Raines now with 4 ribbies. Yes. He missed with the first one, came back with a fastball right here. I mean, nice pitch to hit. Timmy did not try to get that greedy. Put a nice little pass on it. Serves it right out there into left center. Timmy now with 18 RBIs on the season. So the infield in, and here's Robin. That curveball low and away. And Wimpy, I'll tell you, they can tell me anything they want to. Mark Davis is not throwing the ball the way he did in the National League. No way. Looked like he was throwing a 90-mile-an-hour hook over there as he just drops that one over. He's just throwing a lot of rollers now. He doesn't have that good yacker, that good quick bite. 1-1 to Robin. Robin 1 for 4 with a couple of runs scored tonight. Curveball. Good pitch to hit. Robin just couldn't pull the trigger. 1-2 the count. So Ozzie at 3rd and Raines at 2nd. Curveball hit hard into center field. McRae going back. He's there, makes the catch. So now Ozzie's going to come. They're going to hold Raines as he was looking to score on that. As Ozzie scores, and it's 14-7 Sox. RBI number 19 for Robin. Oh, when Tim tagged there at second base, only one thing on his mind. He was looking to cross home plate. So here's Big Frank. Big Frank 1 for 4. RBI. Another walk. Curveball strike. Change out in front. And the count 0-2 to Thomas. So 4 hits here in the top of the 9th inning. Put 3 more on the board against the southpaw 30-year-old left-hander Mark Davis. Fastball, and that'll do it. If the Sox do the damage of 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 1 left, they'll go to the bottom of the 9th. They have doubled up Kansas City 14-7. Bottom of the 9th inning, 14-18-0 for the Sox, 7-12-2 for Kansas City. And a new shortstop. Well, look at this. Here's a sign. Hi, Mom. Congrats from Melissa and Jeff. As we mentioned earlier, a whole bunch of Sox fans here at Royal Stadium. There's Craig Graybeck. He has moved into shortstop for Ozzie. And if you just joined us, Ozzie was 4 for 5 tonight. 3 runs scored. Tim Raines, 2 for 6. A triple, a double, 4 big RBIs. Carlton Fisk, couple of hits. His 3rd homer, a 3-run shot. RBIs by Ventura, Thomas, 2 by Pasqua, 1 by Sosa, 1 by Lance, and Joey Cora. So Don Paul will face the top of the order. It'll be Brian McRae, Gary Thurman, and George Brett. Let's check the board one more time for you if you joined us late. Toronto beat Baltimore 8-4 at Memorial Stadium. Yankees beat the Rangers 10-7 in the Bronx. Roger Clemens, a 2-hitter, as Boston Red Sox beat Oakland this afternoon 8-1 at the Coliseum. Splitter and the count 0-1. Minnesota continued their winning ways, now 7 in a row as they beat Cleveland 2-1. Cleveland getting some outstanding pitching. They just can't score any runs. Milwaukee 2, Seattle nothing. That's in the bottom of the 4th. As the count quickly 0-2 to McRae, who is 3 for 4 tonight with 3 runs scored. And California has put a couple on the board. It's now in the top of the 5th inning at the Big A in Anaheim. Angels leading the Tigers 2-0. Just off the plate, trying to get him to go biting for that one. He wouldn't do it. So the count 1-2. Gray came in hitting .218. Now has his average up to .230. Still leading this club in RBIs with 26. That's inside 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Splitter. Good one. Got it in a good spot. So if the Sox go ahead and wrap this one up, they will have a record of 26-26. Just 5.5 games back, as we mentioned, with a balance in the American League West right now, with a parity over here. It is anybody's ball game. Carlton coming up just a little quick right there. May have blocked Larry McCoy off, and the count goes full. With a victory here tonight, Sox can also even up their road record at 14-14. As he nails him right on the inside corner, he'll grab some bench. Good pitch by Paul. That's the 4th strikeout for Sox pitching tonight. They have yet to walk a hitter. Just the fastball right there. So here's Gary Thurman. Gary, since coming on back in the 5th inning to pinch hit for Kirk Gibson, is 2 for 2. Thurman now hitting at .268 with a homer, 4 RBIs on the season. Good splitter. Pitchers of record, Greg Hibbert. They get the win. He'll be 4-4. The loser will be Tom Gordon. He also will be 4-4. Just off the plate, and the count evens at 1. Milwaukee now leading Seattle 2-1. That's in the 5th inning at the Kingdome. Foul back onto the screen, so it moves to 1-2. (14-7). Sox here in the bottom of the 9th inning. He's gone. He'll grab some bench. So Paul comes out here in the 9th, strikes out McRae, punches out Thurman, and here comes George Brett. George tonight 2 for 4, 2-run single and a 2-run double. What's new? Over the years, George has certainly become my favorite player to watch. Gives you 100% every day. Credit to his profession. Takes a strike. Great with kids. And all of us in baseball hope that he just plays for another 5 or 6 years. Just outside, so the count 1-1. Dennis the Menace. Out of Rancho Mirage, Southern California. It's around the corner from Gene Mock and Ryan Drysdale in the winter. George beats that one off his foot. Oh, mercy. 1-2 the count. Come on, George. I've seen you hit wedges off your foot. Get back in there. Give me a grunt, Wimpy. That's a grunt. Tom just can't let it out. He just he's trying. His vocal cords just will not work. As you look at some of the Sox fans in attendance tonight, as the Royals down to their last bullet. And once again, George will go off the other foot. So the count hangs at 1-2. George wishing right now that Hal McRae had let somebody go up there and pinch hit for him. In a 14-7 game. George has always been one of those guys. He just, when it's a runaway, if the Royals win it big or lose it big, he's usually 1 for 5 or 0 for 5. In the tight ball games, 4-3, 3-2, he has usually done most or all of the damage. Splitter off the plate, and the count evens at 2. California still leading the Tigers 2-0, bottom of the 5th at the Big A. 2-2, got in with a fastball. Danny Pasqua, who's been throwing some leather, gives it to Paul, and that'll do it. So Don Paul comes on, retires all 7 that he faces. Final score, Sox win at 14-7, and we'll be back to wrap it up right after this.